Greetings, everyone. What if the next significant move by Meghan and Harry is not another high-profile interview or a new documentary, but rather something far more personal and potentially contentious? Picture this. At the Invictus Games, an event dedicated to honoring wounded veterans, the Sussexes could choose to introduce their children to the public for the first time in a highly orchestrated, media-driven moment. Would this be a sincere gesture from a family seeking to connect with the public, or merely a calculated PR strategy designed to revive their waning influence? If their children do indeed make an appearance, could this finally offer deeper insight into the aspects of their private lives they have thus far kept guarded? Time and again, Meghan and Harry walk a fine line between presenting themselves as relatable figures and being accused of leveraging their family for publicity. In today's discussion, we delve into this controversial topic here: Meghan and Harry about to use their children as pawns in a public relations campaign. And, more broadly, does their relentless media exposure ultimately undermine the very causes they claim to support? Stay with us, because the answers may not be what you expect. But before we dive into all the compelling details, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe the Sussexes are deliberately using their children for publicity? Or is this simply a family moment being unfairly scrutinized? If you think the media frenzy has gone too far, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the shocking revelations we're uncovering today. Now, let's get into it. Could Meghan and Harry's next move be their most desperate yet? Are they genuinely preparing to introduce their children to the public for a heartfelt family occasion? Or is this just another strategic effort to restore their public image? This week, the Invictus Games might serve as the perfect backdrop for such a spectacle, and I can't help but suspect that this timing is no coincidence. For years, Meghan and Harry have fiercely protected their children's privacy, citing their duty as responsible parents as the reason for keeping Archie and Lilibet out of the media spotlight. But now, with their brand losing traction and their media influence diminishing, could they be changing course? Are they truly reconsidering their stance, or is this yet another carefully calculated PR maneuver? Are they simply a loving family seeking a rare, quiet moment in the public eye? Or are they strategically using their children as props to craft a more sympathetic image? The reality is far more complex. Every decision Meghan and Harry make is placed under intense scrutiny. From their Netflix documentary series to their frequent media engagements, they have made it abundantly clear that their personal lives are deeply intertwined with their public brand. Let's not forget how they have leveraged their marriage, personal struggles, and royal titles to maintain their presence in the headlines. And now, with their children now in the spotlight, it seems the same playbook is being used once again. But why now? After years of insisting on Archie and Lilibet's privacy, why choose this moment to introduce them just as their Netflix deal appears to be coming to an end? Consider this. For most of their lives, Archie and Lilibet have been virtually unseen, with only a handful of carefully curated photos released. There have been few genuine, unscripted moments shared with the public. It almost feels as if they have deliberately kept their children out of sight, only to unveil them at a time when the media is hungry for something fresh, something new. Meghan and Harry have mastered the art of keeping the spotlight on themselves, even as they claim to step away from the royal family. But is this strategy still effective? Will the public perceive this as a genuine, relatable family moment? Or will it be seen as yet another instance of using their own children to maintain relevance? Because, let's be honest, if privacy were truly their top priority, wouldn't they have chosen to keep this moment entirely out of the public eye? And yet, here we are, discussing it once again. They have, intentionally or not, succeeded in making everyone speculate. Will the children make an appearance? Appear at the Invictus Games? That's exactly the kind of speculation they want the media coverage, the curiosity, the attention. Now, let's take a step back and consider this in a different context. If an ordinary couple had kept their children away from the public eye for years, and then suddenly introduce them at a highly publicized event, would we be questioning their motives? Or would we simply view it as a touching family moment? Meghan and Harry have built a career on shaping public perception. Whenever they need to refresh their image, they lean into the family narrative. But let's not be naive. Their children's privacy were truly their top priority. They wouldn't be using them as bargaining chips in their ongoing game of media strategy. This wouldn't be the first time, so why should this occasion be any different? So, what do you think? Are we witnessing a genuine family moment? Or is this yet another carefully orchestrated PR move from a couple more focused on making headlines than protecting the privacy they claim to value? I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe they are truly this moment to genuinely connect with their audience? Or is it just another tactic to keep their names in the headlines? The Invictus Games, founded by Prince Harry in 2014, were created as a platform to celebrate resilience, courage, and the spirit of recovery among wounded veterans. It is a profoundly inspiring event where the spotlight should remain firmly on the competitors' brave men and women who have overcome immense physical and emotional challenges in service to their countries. Yet, for Meghan and Harry, who always seem drawn to the limelight, this event appears to have become just another stage for their ongoing public relations narrative. And now, with speculation mounting that they may introduce their children to the world during the Games, one must ask, is the Invictus Games still about honoring veterans? Or has it become another tool for Meghan and Harry's self-promotion? It is worth taking a moment to reflect on the true purpose of this event. When Prince Harry first established Invictus, his intention was to pay tribute to the extraordinary bravery of service members who had endured unimaginable hardships, returning from war and home with injuries that most of us could hardly fathom. The idea behind the Invictus Games was simply provide these veterans with a platform to showcase their strength, resilience, and determination. It was never meant to be about royalty or celebrity status. It was about honoring those who had served their countries and allowing their stories of perseverance to take center stage. Yet, whenever Harry and Meghan attend these events, the focus seems to shift entirely onto them. Their ever-present media attention, their apparent need for the spotlight, and their ongoing self-promotion often overshadow the very individuals the Games were designed to celebrate. Who could forget Harry's dramatic entrance at a previous Invictus Games, closely followed by Meghan, whose arrival seemed carefully orchestrated to draw attention? Instead of the press highlighting the achievements of the athletes, coverage was dominated by stories about the Sussexes, their interactions, their outfits, their presence. The veterans, the true heroes of the event, became an afterthought. Now, with speculation that Harry and Meghan may introduce their children at the upcoming Games, it raises an important question. Question of whether this is a heartfelt family moment or yet another calculated move to redirect attention back to themselves. Let's be honest, does anyone truly believe this isn't a meticulously planned PR stunt? For years, Meghan and Harry have been accused of leveraging their personal lives for media attention. And now, by introducing their children into the mix, it appears they are only adding to the spectacle. It almost feels like a desperate attempt to stay relevant, to ensure their names remain in the headlines no matter what. What makes this even more frustrating is that they are fully aware of what they are doing. The Sussexes have spent years carefully curating their public image, expertly manipulating media narratives, and strategically choosing the perfect moments to release their next headline-grabbing revelation. Whether through their Netflix deals, their podcast ventures, or now through their children, every move seems perfectly timed to align with their dwindling public appeal. And now, they are pulling the Invictus Games into their Media Circumvention event that was meant to be a celebration of courage and resilience, is at risk of becoming just another backdrop for their ongoing drama. But this has become less about the cause and more about the couple's relentless pursuit of attention. The Invictus Games were never intended to be a personal showcase for Meghan, and Harriet is an event dedicated to honoring veterans. Yet, when they enter the room, it becomes painfully obvious where the media's focus lies. The real heroes, the wounded warriors who have endured unimaginable hardships, are reduced to mere background figures, while Harry and Meghan, who seemingly cannot resist making everything about themselves, take center stage. Is this truly the message we want to send? That the sacrifices, resilience, and triumphs of these veterans are secondary to the personal brand of a former prince and his wife? Now, let's take a moment to put this into historical perspective. When Princess Diana, arguably one of the most famous women in the world, attended charitable events, she did so with grace, humility, and a deep sense of purpose. She never made the occasion about herself, never sought to overshadow the cause she was there to support. Instead, she used her presence to uplift others, to amplify the voices of those who needed to be heard. And yet, in just a few short years, Meghan and Harry have completely reversed the traditional model of celebrity philanthropy. Instead of using their platform to shine a light on important causes, they have made themselves the focal point of every event they attend. Time and time again, the attention shifts from the people and issues that truly matter to the personal narrative of the Sussexes. And the most frustrating part, they are fully aware of it. Harry and Meghan have worked hard to brand themselves as champions of noble causes, claiming to advocate for the voiceless and support those in need. But their actions often tell a different story. How can they claim to amplify others when they are the ones constantly dominating the conversation, drawing the media's attention away from the very people they claim to support? Now, consider the upcoming Invictus Games. If they do indeed introduce their children at the event, it will undoubtedly generate an unprecedented media frenzy. But at what cost? Will the inspiring stories of veterans overcoming adversity be drowned out by flashing cameras and endless speculation about Meghan's fashion choices and Harry's latest remarks? Will the attention shift away from those who deserve it most once again? Much about them, yet so little at the same time. As the Invictus Games approach, the question remains, will the athletes receive the recognition they deserve? Or will the focus once again shift to the Sussexes? The real issue isn't just about media coverage, it's about whether we, as the public, continue to allow this to happen. By now, it's clear that Meghan and Harry are no strangers to controversy. However, this moment could very well be a tipping point. If they use the Invictus Games as another chapter in their ongoing personal saga, it could mark the final blow to their credibility. Many have already begun questioning their motives, and for good reason. They have turned every facet of their lives into a media spectacle, and this could be the moment they push things too far. So, what do you think? Is the Invictus Games still a platform to honor the resilience of veterans, or has it become yet another opportunity for Meghan and Harry to steal the spotlight? Should the focus remain on the athletes, or are we going to watch once again as the Sussexes overshadow a cause greater than themselves? Step back and truly examine the situation. It becomes clear that much of what we see has been carefully curated. Meghan and Harry have fiercely guarded the details of their children's lives, yet the lingering question remains, are we really seeing the full picture, or is this just another element of their calculated media strategy? The skepticism surrounding Archie and Lilibet isn't just a fleeting thought, it continues to grow. The couple, who frequently advocate for privacy, have simultaneously used their children as strategic elements in their ongoing pursuit of public attention. The world has only been given brief, carefully staged glimpses, a Christmas card here, a fleeting moment in their Netflix documentary there, but beyond that, it often feels as though these children exist in a controlled and hidden world. Why is that? And when we do see them, how much of it is authentic? The public has been led to believe that Archie and Lilibet are simply the beloved children of Meghan and Harry, but there is an increasing sense that there may be more to the story than meets the eye. Let's take a closer look at the facts. Traditionally, the British royal family takes a distinctive approach to raising their children. While there is a clear desire to protect their privacy, royal children are not entirely hidden from public view. They frequently attend official engagements, allowing the public to catch glimpses of them while maintaining a level of discretion. However, when it comes to Archie and Lilibet, there has been an ongoing challenge in forming a well-rounded perception of their lives. Unlike previous royal children, they remain largely out of the public eye, making it difficult to gather a comprehensive image of them. This raises the question, is this a deliberate effort by Harry and Meghan to shield them from media scrutiny, or is there another reason why they remain so elusive? Speculation surrounding Archie and Lilibet has persisted for years, with whispers evolving into widespread discussions about their origins. Some theories suggest that Meghan may not have carried them herself, with claims that a surrogate was involved. Others go even further, questioning whether the children are biologically related to Harry and Meghan at all, proposing that they could be part of a carefully orchestrated effort to uphold their royal ties. The secrecy surrounding their early years has only fueled such speculation. Consider Archie's birth. Only a single official photograph was released to the public, showing Harry holding a newborn. Yet, even that image sparked debate, with some questioning its authenticity and whether it was genuinely taken on the day of his birth or staged for media optics. Similarly, the photographs of Lilibet have done little to quell the rumors. The few images released have often appeared heavily edited or blurred, leading to further speculation about what the Sussexes might be concealing. With so much mystery surrounding their children, it's no surprise that people continue to question what is really going on. Are Harry and Meghan simply trying to protect their children's privacy, or are they actively shaping the narrative, even if it means manipulating the truth? Speculation has only intensified, particularly concerning official documents such as birth certificates. There has also been debate over the couple's travels, especially during the Queen's Jubilee. Reports suggested that Archie and Lilibet's names did not appear on flight manifests when the family traveled to the UK. This absence has raised further questions. Could children who are considered so central to the Sussex brand be missing from official records? Could it be that they were never there at all? Looking at royal history, there has traditionally been a degree of transparency when it comes to royal children. Whether it was Prince William and Catherine's family or even Harry's own experiences as a new father, there was a certain openness, a recognition of the media's role in royal life. Yet with Harry and Meghan, there seems to be a persistent effort to maintain control over their public image, often by withholding key details, leaving many to wonder what they might be hiding. Could it be that the Sussexes are carefully orchestrating a narrative offering just enough glimpses of their children to maintain intrigue while never revealing the full picture? Speculation has only grown over time, fueled by persistent rumors, including claims about Meghan's alleged hysterectomy and statements from her own father suggesting she was unable to have children. And yet, we are expected to accept that Archie and Lilibet are Meghan and Harry's biological children, despite inconsistencies that many believe simply do not add up. Is it truly plausible that someone who was reportedly unable to conceive has now had 2 children? With each new rumor, the questions only multiply, and public patience with the ongoing mystery is wearing thin. At this point, Archie and Lilibet have become almost mythical figures shrouded in secrecy and speculation. What was once a compelling narrative about Harry and Meghan forging their own path has, for many, devolved into a spectacle. The uncertainty surrounding their children has led to widespread doubt, leaving the public unsure of what to believe. Perhaps that is exactly the way the Sussexes want it. By keeping the world guessing, the Sussexes maintain control over the conversation. They create curiosity, fuel speculation, and most importantly, keep the public's attention firmly on them. But the real question remains, do you believe what we've been shown, or is there more to the story? Could Archie and Lilibet's existence, as presented to the public, be just another carefully crafted element of Harry and Meghan's image, or is it time to confront the truth? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's discuss it. After all, the public deserves transparency. Many are now asking whether Meghan and Harry can truly withstand the scrutiny they have brought upon themselves. Is this just another attempt to salvage their public image, or are we witnessing the unraveling of their carefully curated narrative? For years, they have relied on PR strategies, high-profile interviews, and social media to shape public perception. But with each new revelation, maintaining that polished image is becoming increasingly difficult. So let's dive into the discussion. Are their PR efforts enough to sustain their brand, or are we beginning to see the cracks form? The slow unraveling of the Sussexes' carefully constructed empire is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Meghan and Harry have built their entire platform on controlling their own narrative, relying heavily on the media to tell their side of the story. And each time a new controversy emerges, their response is almost predictable: another carefully crafted statement, a strategically timed interview, or a well-placed media appearance. It's clear that the couple understands how to leverage the press to their advantage. However, the problem is that the public is beginning to see through it. People have grown weary of the constant media manipulation, and with every PR move, it becomes more apparent that they may be trying to conceal the cracks in their carefully curated image. Take, for instance, their highly publicized Netflix deal. When it was first announced, there was widespread intrigue. Harry and Meghan, the so-called royal renegades, were set to produce exclusive content for the streaming giant. But how much of that content has truly lived up to expectations? Their much-anticipated documentary, meant to offer an intimate, behind-the-scenes look at their lives, raised more questions than it answered. Instead of providing meaningful insight, their Netflix documentary quickly became another platform for airing grievances, reinforcing their victim narrative and seeking public sympathy. And how did audiences react? With skepticism. The initial buzz surrounding their Netflix venture quickly faded as people recognized it for what it was: a calculated PR move to remain relevant, rather than a genuine effort to make a difference. Now, with their latest actions, it's evident that the Sussexes are attempting to regain control of their public image. They frequently speak about their desire to help others, advocate for social justice, and support causes they claim to be passionate about. However, time and again, these noble intentions are overshadowed by personal controversies. Every cause they champion seems to take a back seat to the headlines they generate, making it difficult for the public to take their activism seriously. Their carefully curated image has become so central to their narrative that it often feels disconnected from their supposed mission to create positive change. And now, their most recent PR misstep, the ongoing speculation and leaks surrounding their children, has only added to the scrutiny. By now, it's clear that Archie and Lilibet are at the center of a media spectacle, and this is no accident. From the moment Meghan and Harry became parents, their children became yet another tool to bolster their public image, but the public is growing increasingly frustrated with the secrecy surrounding them. How many times can we be presented with edited photos or vague statements? The fact that the children are kept largely out of sight, only to be revealed at strategically convenient moments, feels undeniably calculated. It almost seems as if Meghan and Harry have realized that their personal brand alone is no longer enough to sustain them, prompting them to incorporate their children into their PR strategy. Looking at history, the royals of the past never relied on constant media manipulation to remain in the public eye. Yes, scandals existed, but figures like Princess Diana understood when to step back and let their actions speak for themselves. Meghan and Harry, however, seem fixated on controlling the narrative, to the point where they lose sight of something far more important: authenticity. Authenticity matters, and the public is not easily fooled. People see the game Meghan and Harry are playing, and the once compelling narrative is beginning to lose its appeal. Yet, despite the backlash, they continue to push forward with their PR strategies. Whenever they face criticism, they double down, spinning the story in new ways to regain control. It's as if they can't help themselves. Media attention has become an addiction. However, as history has shown, this kind of manipulation has an expiration date. The public eventually grows weary of the same repetitive tactics. And when that happens, it's not just their image that suffers, it's their entire brand. The real question now is whether they can recover from this. Can they repair the damage done to their reputations? Or are we witnessing the slow collapse of the empire they've so carefully constructed? The reality is, while they may have managed to control the narrative in the past, the tide is shifting. People are no longer blindly accepting the image they project. More and more, the public is beginning to see them for what they truly are: two individuals who have lost their way. Meghan and Harry seem driven by a need for attention and control, yet their actions often lack real substance. So, what comes next? Will they continue down this well-worn PR path, relentlessly shaping the narrative to maintain relevance? Or will they finally recognize that the public is looking for something more: genuine honesty, humility, and a real connection? For years, they have worked to position themselves as media darlings, but now, public sentiment appears to be shifting. If they fail to adapt and acknowledge what people truly want, they risk becoming irrelevant. As we conclude this discussion, one thing is clear. Meghan and Harry's PR machine, while undeniably effective, may no longer be enough to shield them from mounting criticism. They have built a brand fueled by controversy, secrecy, and strategic media manipulation. But how much longer can they sustain it? The public is becoming increasingly skeptical, and the more they try to control the narrative, the greater the resistance they face. Are they prepared for what happens when the world stops listening? Are Meghan and Harry truly committed to making a positive impact, or is it all just about preserving their own relevance? That's the question many are asking. Can they recover from this, or was their empire always built on shaky ground? Have we finally reached the moment where the public stops buying into their carefully crafted media-driven narrative, or are they simply too entrenched in the spotlight to ever fade away? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Where do you think they go from here? Share your opinions in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the King YouTube channel for the latest royal family insights, exclusive gossip, and in-depth analysis you won't find anywhere else. Don't miss out on the next big discussion. Hit that notification bell and stay tuned.